know that when you have a purpose and a calling on your life, there's nothing that nobody, and nothing can happen. I am Angela C. Wright.
Over the top, the gotcha.
He said your numbers has shrunk. He said, I don't know how, why.
You're not gonna get you're gonna have to have mounds of security for me because you're not gonna get me.
If I wasn't depressed and going through what I was going through, I probably would have never started.
And this episode was brought to you by the Ayers Agency, a full-service marketing firm noted in entertainment and culture. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Break Phree Podcast. And today I got that free pretty girl with me, Brandy.
Hey girl.
How you doing?
Good.
You doing good? You look pretty?
Thank you. You
stay
too.
Pretty.
You stay pretty. I be peeping you good.
Thank you. What's up with you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yes.
You got that son off to college?
Yes, I got my baby off to college. It's bittersweet. I'm happy, but I'm going through separation anxiety a little bit.
I can imagine because when you came home, he was how old?
When I came home, he was about to turn 11. Mm-hmm. So he was 10 going on 11. And he's just turned 18 in December. So this last 7 years I've been home, it's just been like me and him. So
yeah, because when you see one, you see the other.
Don't you?
Yeah.
It's like I ain't do grown-up stuff in so long because everything revolved around him in football. So it's like I don't feel like I got nothing to do. It's like, I just got to show up.
How proud are you of him?
Very proud. I just was talking to him, like, he had texted me and was like, Ma, I did my first drug test. You know, they did the little drug test. I was like, that's cool. And I was just like, you good? And he was like, yeah. He was like, but we was talking about all that, like stay on point because they do little things. I'm just trying to keep them mindful of what to expect.
Of the traps.
Yeah, of the traps that they have.
And them girls.
You already know how we are. I'm hip to the game, so you already know how I am. Mm-hmm. But I had just sent them a text saying, growing up as a kid, our parents express how they feel, but they really didn't. In my family, I knew that they loved us, but the communication wasn't always there. It's typically like that in a lot of black households, like the communication barrier. So, I tried to do better with my kid, I always try to send them little text messages and little encouraging things. And I had just told them, like, what, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, you went to college, you adjusting well. I was like, you just know, I know your mom. I say I'm your mom because that's my mama too, because, she ever, I was like, I know your grandma, your grandfather, and your dad, they really smiling down happy. I said, especially your grandma. I was like, because my mama tell you in a minute, like, baby, he going to the NFL. Yeah. That's all she said. It's like, I said, she already claimed it, so all you got to do is just get to where your grandma said you was going already.
And the reason why I look at him and just be so proud, like, I just be like smiling myself because he really went through a lot as a child in such a short span. Yep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Losing his dad. Yep. You get what I'm saying?
Losing my dad.
Yeah, your dad, and how spoiled your dad had you, and how tight-knit y'all family were. From the out, I'm just an outsider from the outside looking in, and then to have to deal with that with his grandmother passing when he's so close
to my mom.
Yeah, he's so close to her, and he was so close to
making
the end.
It.
To making it. So I just think, and then that barrier of being a young black man in America. So I hope he got a whole bunch of cheerleaders.
Listen, I said that. I said, boy, people done watched him. It's so crazy because, when I came home, see, you see now that you home, but like, I wasn't used to none of this social media stuff like that. So it's like Instagram and stuff wasn't out when I came home. I mean, when I was gone. When I left, my bad. When I left, Instagram and all that wasn't out. It was like Facebook was just starting, and I think MySpace, the people at the MySpace. So I'm like, Instagram. So I knew from my friends at home, they'd tell me about Instagram, and then, we had video visits towards the end. The feds got the little video visits, so they'd show me little stuff, and I'm like, what? So when I started my little Instagram, I just got a whole bunch of followers based on...
Not your little Instagram.
I know.
Not your little Instagram.
Yeah, I'm building these building, but, from off Instagram, I met so many good people, and it's like, people that I never seen, but you feel like and it's like they always be like, tell DeBron his Instagram aunties and uncles room for him because they basically watched him grow up from like little league all the way to where he is now. So he got a lot of support.
And I'm just so proud of him. And baby, let me tell you something. I remember before he was getting ready, like, to commit and everything, like the different schools he was going to and taking his picture. I said, baby, he is going to be a force to be reckoned with because he's handsome.
Yes. Amy. I said, look, and it's so funny because, his dad passed away when he was 9 months, but he don't remember the man that he is. So I always try to, tell him stuff about his daddy because you know how good of a man his daddy was. And I'm like, boy, his daddy left me with him, a piece of him forever, because his mannerisms, his characteristics is so much like his father. I be telling him, like, you just don't understand. His daddy was a ladies' man.
Yeah.
When I tell you, he just had an infectious personality that draw people to him, and that's how my son is, but he kind of is an introvert. Like, he very respectable, but if he don't really know you, he gonna sit back and observe like his daddy did and watch, and then when he comfortable, you'll get to see the real, the real side of him. But I'm just thankful and grateful, and like I said, he's super humble. He got he's dedicated, he motivated, and he got goals he ready to achieve, and he gonna achieve. He locked in.
Yeah, he locked in. And Brandy, for you, tell me, like, how have you been able to deal with all of that trauma? Because it's a lot. You know what I mean? Losing your son father with the asthma attack in prison. You get what I'm saying? First of all, being so young. You were so young and lived this high lifestyle. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then to have to lose your son father. Then you lost your dad. And then you come home. You happy to be home and be free. And you turn around and you lose your mom.
Yeah. People don't understand. Like, you understand because we walked this walk. Same walk.
Yeah.
When you go to prison in itself, first of all, when you get indicted, let's just start all the way back then. When you get indicted and you encounter the arrest and the guns and the county and the court, it's like, I think I suffer a little bit from PTSD.
Definitely.
Because it's like the stress that you endure when you fighting for your life and you don't know what's in front of you, and you I woke up every day with butterflies and my anxiety, and then I had this little baby behind. I'm like, damn, like his daddy already left. He passed away, and all he got me, and I got a possibility of leaving my son for a long duration of time. So just that in itself, not to mention, because you've been through the system through transit, just getting on that airplane, that Con Air, when you outside on this big airplane, whatever you want to call that,
all the tarmac, all the guns,
and you got AK-47s, machine guns, ski mask on, all black. It's like,
it reminds me of a modern day slave trade.
Don't it?
The way
chain you shackle,
hand and foot, getting off that vent. And you know what? Sometimes I would get so sad. I went through transit a lot because I got shipped a lot, right? And I would get so sad and just hurting the inside. You see all those men and women standing out there, they getting off the plane, walking down, going over here to this bus, and we getting off the vans and the bus, and we getting up, going on it is a modern day slave trade. And people don't even know this exists.
They don't understand.
They're like, well, where do y'all fly?
The real airport that they got a side that's designated for these federal airplanes to come down with all these inmates.
And where the private jets be at.
Yeah, baby, where the private jets be at.
Yeah, but that in itself, you're right, is trauma.
It is trauma. And then my experience was so messed up because, I'm going to keep it. Because it's like every time I talk to people, I always talk about everybody be so interested in what got me to prison, but they don't never, we passed that, been there, done that. We already talked about that, but what we need to bring to awareness is the things that you encounter when you going through the struggle and you going through the process. And
break them free, break them free,
what I'm saying? Yes, but it is, and I don't think people understand that. And if they know what we went through as far as, like I said, that Con Air and the process that you go through to feel like a slave or like you nothing, and it's like, for me, it might help people make better choices. Like I said, my experience on Con Air was, I'm just going to keep it real, I was on my cycle. You know what I'm saying? So I'm already feeling uncomfortable because you already know when you go on Con Air, it's not a straight flight. You're going to go up, come down, pick up some more people, go up in the air, come down, stop over here and go pick some more people up. Because I think we stopped in Minnesota, Chicago. We was in Michigan. Like, we stopped so many places before we got to Oklahoma.
You get on that plane 8 o'clock in the morning, and you lucky if you get off 8 o'clock.
That's what I'm saying. You just shackled up. So, and then it's like, I'm like, all right, I got to go to the bathroom. So I'm asking the U.S. Marshal, the Marshal, like, I need to use the bathroom. And she like, all right. I'm like, but I'm on my cycle. So when we get there, you walking like this. And then I felt bad. You see all the men, they trying to lean.
They trying to touch you with their shoulder.
They trying to lean, put a little foot to rub. I felt so bad, like, dang, like, they just want to touch. They haven't probably seen a woman in years where they just want to brush up against a woman. But it's like, when I went there, so I'm in the bathroom, like, okay, I need this, sanitary napkin or whatever. And I'm like, can you uncuff one of my hands because I can? They was like, no.
Right.
So I'm in this bathroom like this. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pull my pants down like this. I'm trying to take care of my business like this. And when I was sitting in that little stall on that airplane, I was like, I felt like I was at my lowest. Like, I had no dignity. Like, everything was like stripped from me. It's like I'm on this damn plane and I can't even take care of my hygiene properly as a woman during this time because they don't want to unfree my hand. Like, where am I going? We all the way up in the air. If you unhook one hand so I could properly clean myself, like, why is that a problem?
I tell them, you know what? People do not really understand, right? Baby, it's sad to say, but I can pull my pants down now if my hands is cuffed.
Yep.
I could take a tampon out with my hands cuffed. You get what I'm saying? Because I ain't had no choice.
Yep.
And there used to be times when I knew I was getting shipped again, I wouldn't even try to like drink water or nothing because I didn't want to have to get up to go to the bathroom. First of all, you getting up and you looking like a hot, fresh piece of meat to all them, because you know it only be like 20 women in the front and it be 130 men.
It might be 200. I turned around on the plane one day and it just broke my heart. I said, this is where all our black men at.
Yeah.
Handsome, good looking black men.
Yeah.
I look back, it's 2 of them, 200 of them.
Girl, so after I got over the embarrassment and like didn't want to use the bathroom and stuff, one time I was getting shipped again, and so they tell you don't talk to the men, but they don't tell the men don't talk to us, you know, because they can't control them. But I was going down the aisle, I was doing like this. It's enough of you.
Yeah, you gotta, you start sharing. Like, no, for real.
You make light of where you are.
You gotta make light of the situation and get some type of laughter or something up out of it. But it's like, and then when you get to transit, we be in that big old fish bowl with about 50 girls. So once again, men walking by, and I still got to do it in front of everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like I couldn't wait until I can get in the shower, and I couldn't even get in the shower because we got in so late. I couldn't get in the shower till they open it up early in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just like your self-worth, your self-dignity, and then as a woman, you already know I'm so used to I could be naked in front of anybody now. It don't even matter to me no more.
I used to
At first you be shy, but now after visit you like, here, you only got to tell me this squad. Like you just go through like, can we go?
Yeah.
And it's like it's sad that it gotta be like that, but you just become so accustomed to that same routine and that same process. But now that we're out here looking in, it's like, damn,
we really made it through.
We made it through some shit.
Yeah. Not
some
just
real shit.
And I used to say, like, I know I broke the law. I know I had to do time. But I feel like certain things that go on in prison don't have to be, and then you're a pretty girl too. So I know how officers used to be nasty towards you just
especially
for no
the women.
reason. Yeah.
And don't look like you want to keep yourself up. Like, don't keep your hair done or try to put a little eyelash up.
My pants are altered. My
whole outfit altered, girl. Look, you got to hook up at laundry. You getting your khaki shirt taken in on the side. I want to feel cute. Y'all gonna got these big old steel toe boots on. Like, at least let us feel a little cute with our little clothes on.
Me too. Where I can have a soft shoe pack.
Me too.
I'm keeping my tennis shoes on.
I'm
but
telling you.
It's the things that we had to do. Yes, we did. Adjust. But like you said, coming home, there is some PTSD. I used to couldn't stand the sound of keys. Girl. Don't bother me anymore. But I used to couldn't stand to hear keys.
Because that's all you hear in your sleep. Because during count, even if you sleep, you still hear the keys
and
going
the bigger
down.
they are, the louder they sound. They kick off their leg.
And then even with me, like, when I first came home, I still kind of don't like being around a whole bunch of big, loud, large crowds. Like, girl, I ain't been to a concert since I've been home. I've been home almost 8 years.
Really? Oh, yeah, it don't bother me.
See, it's like I'm starting to, like, try to get out of that. But I don't know. And it's
Have you tried therapy yet? Did you do any therapy?
Nope, I ain't do no therapy. I tried with my son when I first came home. I had did it a little bit, but I haven't. And maybe that's something I should work on, because it's like, even with people, I be like, like my friend, he does mortgages and he works with a lot of people. So he always trying to get me to come to events, which I should, because like I said, it's different networking and you meet different type of people. But I'm so jaded about meeting new people. I be like, I'm cool, but I got to get that out of my mind, because that's not my life no more. So the people that I'm around, I shouldn't be so jaded from, because they really I'm not doing no type of business that's going to bring harm to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got that defense mechanism when you've been through stuff like that, or people crossed you or betrayed you. I just had that wall up. So I feel if I don't meet nobody new, can't nobody do nothing to me.
But that's not true though, Brandy.
I know.
The people that's closest to you can do the most harm.
You're right.
So yeah, maybe you should try some therapy.
I think
you get
so.
What I'm saying? Yeah, just to try to get through and start to maneuver. Because what you gonna do, baby? He's going to the NFL, honey.
I know.
You have to be at the Super Bowl. You have to be everywhere.
I know. I think I'm getting better. I'm getting better, because I'm starting to get out more. But for a minute, I was real reserved for a second. You know, it's just like certain things I just didn't want to be around.
What about dating? Do you date, or how long did it take you to date when you came home?
What's crazy was I actually came home in a relationship. So, and it was just crazy how it met, because nobody really know the story, because I kind of keep my personal business private. But my girl I was locked up with, she was from Baltimore or whatever, and she had a cousin. She kept saying, I'm going to introduce you to my cousin. I'm like, who your cousin? She like, you know how you be in there? You like, whatever, you know.
What he do?
Well, yeah, because, you know, you ain't meet nobody on the street. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, woo. So she like, yeah. So I'm like, all right. And, you know, in there, the dudes had cell phones.
Yeah.
So we started off emailing, and then he had a cell phone. So I called him from the jail phone on cell phone. They don't know he in jail.
Yeah.
And we kind of built up our little relationship like that. And actually, that was like the last 3 years. He ended up getting out like maybe 6 to 7 months before me, but we kept that bond and that friendship. Like everything he said he was gonna do, he did.
That's
as
what's
far
up.
as like he hit my mama up when he came home. He made sure my son was good with little stuff that my mama needed. You know, if she needed stuff for my son, he at Western Union had the money. So he really was a stand-up guy in that aspect. Even when I came home, he was the one that bought my clothes. My sister went out there, he gave her money to go shopping to get my stuff to come home. And it's like we just kept that relationship, and it was comfort for me, because it's like it's somebody I knew, but you know, we did things, you know, you never really talk to nobody without sex on the outside for a long period or duration of time. So for me, it was like, dang, you finally got to know somebody, because we ain't had nothing but time. So really, we had nothing but conversations.
And built a really
we built a real mental
foundation.
Yeah, a good relationship. And we was off and on for the years that I've been home, but you know, sometimes things don't work and people go their separate ways. But at the end of the day, I don't have nothing bad to say about that man. Like, we didn't work, but even through the ups and downs when we had our breaks, he stayed forever loyal to my son. Like, they talk now. Like, I would have money dropped in my bank account, and I'd be like, oh, this for DeBron, because I know where it's from. And he'd be like, oh, mama, then such and such, put that in my account. I'm like, yeah, can you send it to me? And it's like, this not even his kid, and I swear he like deposits money in my account every month like it's child support.
Aww.
And me and him don't even talk.
Yeah,
like we don't
that's
talk.
Just him, just a
you know what I'm saying?
person.
He just and he loved my son, and that's why I said regardless of whoever I be with in my life, and if I do get somebody stable in my relationship, that he gonna have to accept the fact that this man is gonna be around, not for me, but anytime it come to my son. I don't care, football games, award ceremonies, whatever it is, you gonna have to, you can introduce or whatever, but he gonna be there.
Yeah,
because that was a person that stood beside me even when we wasn't talking, and the loyalty he had with my son, it just makes me have so much admiration and respect
so much
for him.
respect for him.
Yeah.
But did you find it hard like the day after being gone so long? Because you was gone how long?
I was gone 7.5 years, almost 8 years. Now I'm gonna be real with you. Hell yeah, it's totally different out here today, and then I'm over 40.
Yeah.
So it's like I get no middle ground. It's either I'm gonna get an old head that like me because I'm still kind of young to them because I'm new 40s.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna get a young buck that want him like me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, damn, I can't never meet nothing in the middle. So it's like I can't do the young, because for me, I kind of, and you probably was the same way. Mm-hmm. Growing up, I jumped off the porch a little early. So when you jump in the streets early, I relate more to people that's older than people that's young. And I think the maturity level isn't there. But then for me, for older, it's cool, but I still got a little youth in me too, because I've been gone. So it's like I still got a little spunk in me too. So it's like I can't catch a break right now.
You can't catch a break? Well,
no.
I mean, hey, life goes on, and when it's meant to be, it'll happen.
I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm going to keep, I'll date here and there and just see whatever happens. But as far as anything solid right now, no.
Yeah. What could you say, what was the hardest barrier you had to face when you came home?
Coming home to nothing. All my life I had. Like, I grew up kind of like the silver spoon kind of lifestyle. My dad spoiled me. I come from good background. So this was, my dad passed away when I was in prison. So when I came home, the barrier for me to get over was living life without my father being there. I had to get adjusted to that, because at the end of the day, I knew if ain't nobody had my back, my daddy had mine. Like, I used to get into it with my baby daddy. Like, I don't care. You ain't got to do it because I call my daddy. He do it. He used to get so mad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a damn. You don't got to do it because I'm just going to call my daddy. Don't pay it.
Yeah.
It's going to get paid. I was able to have that cockiness and that arrogance, because I know at the end of the day, no matter what, this man right here going to have my back to the end. So me coming home and my daddy not being there, and me not having that financial stability that I'm used to having was the hardest barrier for me to get over. You know, one thing about it, you already know once you're a hustler, you're going to get it how you live. And I had an opportunity to get a good job, and I was able to do that. But that was like my first real job I ever had.
Girl,
in my life.
What was that like, having to be accounted for this time to that time?
Girl, listen.
I struggle with it.
Listen, I ended up getting a job at a dealership. One of my people I met in the halfway house, it's like my brother to this day. When I got to the halfway house, you know how you got co-ed, so I'm meeting the dudes. And I'm like, well, where you going? Because you about to get out. Where you going? He like, I'm about to go to this job. My sister work at the dealership. I was like, well, shoot, give me a job. You know what I'm saying? So his sister started picking us up or whatever, and we got the job at the delership. And girl, it was in Union City on Jonesboro Road. So it was kind of like in the hood a little bit. So it was cool for me coming home. But I think it was that setup that was cool because everybody was cool. But then I worked for this same company for 6 years. But you know, when you with stuff be fun for a minute, then this stuff be changing when it's new management and stuff like that. And I end up going to corporate side of it. And I was like,
And you ain't like the corporate side?
Because one thing about me, if I got a job to do, I'm going to do it. But I'm not good with people who micromanaging me. You know what I'm saying? So, and at the dealerships, I was in a managerial position. So it was cool because I overseed everybody. But when I went to corporate, somebody overseeing me. But I know I knew how to do my job. So to me, I felt like they was just nitpicking with me. And I was just like...
Do you feel like that was part of that I'm a boss mentality? Because they probably wasn't even nitpicking with you. They probably wasn't even nitpicking with you. That, you know, that could be like that stigma, the things that we live in within ourselves. Like, man, do you know, girl...
I think that might have been it too.
I ain't got time for this.
Like, I ain't got time for this. Like, and then they started getting to a point too, and this what made me leave the job. You know, when my son started going on all them visits and stuff, I couldn't work on the weekends. So I was like, look, I always meet my tier or wherever my bonus or wherever I need to be at. I'm at my bonuses. I made, everything they needed me to do, I did it. I was like, can y'all change my schedule Monday through Thursday? They changed it Monday through Thursday. So then one of the owners, I guess, was feeling away, and he made a comment and was like, I'm just saying, she seemed like she more focused on getting her son to college than she is about my job. I am. Yeah. You damn right I am.
Yeah.
Shoot, I got a young black man living in today's society, and don't be mad, because he used to be like, oh, where you at? I'm like, oh, Alabama. Oh, where you at? Oh, I'm at Clemson. Oh, where you at? Oh, we at Oklahoma. Oh, really? I guess maybe he didn't think because I was this little black girl that they know came from prison, and you didn't think that I would have a child, you know what I'm saying, that's able playing on that that level, or, or that have the people interested in him. So I'm like, what do you mean? You damn right. I'm interested. I'm trying to break generational cycles, a curse that's been in my family for years. Like, if you want to go back to it, my son's father went to prison. His grandfather went to prison. His mama went to prison. That's generations right there. Statistically, he's supposed to be in the way to the graveyard or to a jail cell if society has a say-so in it. And he did the total opposite. So you think I'm not going to put everything I got behind my son to make sure he gets to where he need to be in life? So after that, I was like, you know what? That's my time to go, because they was doing little stuff like trying to take my money, or we cutting this bonus. And, I was used to making a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So now you're trying to take food out of my mouth. So maybe it's just time for me to, walk away.
Yeah. But I feel like you did the right thing, pouring into your son.
Yeah.
You're right. And I didn't even think about it that way. Like, I knew you had been, and I knew his dad had been, but I didn't know his grandfather.
Yeah, my dad and me were codefendants. Yes. Me and my father was codefendants.
Well, how old was you when y'all was?
I caught my case in 2008. So I was 26. And my father didn't get indicted till later on, because mine got in trouble first, and then it was superseded from a superseding indictment.
Oh, wow.
Yep, my daddy had 8 years, and I got 10 years. And during, I think maybe my dad going to his 4th year. Remember when Obama changed the stipulations of the compassionate release for like sick people or whatever?
I didn't know Obama changed it.
Was it Obama?
No, it was Trump. Yeah, it was Trump.
You sure?
I'm positive, under the First Step Act.
Because my daddy died in 15.
Okay, so
it had to be Obama. I think the Federal Bureau, it just changed the stipulations when you sick under the compassionate release, because when he changed the stipulations, my dad ended up going to Minnesota and Rochester.
To the medical center.
You be having social workers. So whenever something changed, they called my mama like, look, you need to go ahead and file for this. And they kind of walked her through the process because my dad I didn't know when we got sentenced he was in the beginning stages of dementia. Yeah, so when he was in prison, it got worse. So we was able to get him home after doing almost 4 years. He came home in February, girl, and he died 6 months later in August.
How did you deal with that, being locked up?
Let me just tell you some crazy stuff. This is how, I don't know, my life is just, I go through the craziest experiences now. Mind you, Alderson was the first prison in the BOP. They always use us as a pilot program. Yeah. We had the MP3 players first, and then we start doing the video visits first. It started with us. So I'm not knowing my daddy coming home on compassionate release. So, girl, I had one scheduled for my son, but, girl, my daddy ended up coming home. So I was able to see my father. Now, mind you, my mom and them ain't tell me my daddy was as sick as he was. They got me thinking, oh, he cool, he all right, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, okay.
They ain't want to worry.
But I knew something was wrong when I was writing him, and I was emailing him, and he wasn't responding to my mail, and he wasn't responding to my emails. And when I would get cards from him, I knew that was my daddy handwriting. So in my mind, I'm like, But I ain't thinking nothing. I take my little pictures in the car. I'm like, maybe he just had somebody write something for him. So when I first seen him on Skype, I'm geeked up to see my daddy. I'm on there like, what up? Like, my daddy, what up, homie? Like, what up, though? And my daddy looked at me. He was like, I'm like, what's up, daddy? Like, what's up? And he looked like, what's your name? He was like, you a pretty girl. What's your name? I'm like, what's my name? Like, hold up. That broke my heart into pieces. That my right hand man, like, he used to always say I'm supposed to be his boy because me and him was like
so close.
Yeah. And you don't know my name, like, you don't know who I am. So off of that was something that I had to overcome. But I kind of just grateful he was at home, even though I couldn't be there, instead of in prison in that condition that he was in.
Right.
And I kind of just enjoyed the moments as they came.
As much as you could.
So this particular day that he passed away, I had a visit scheduled. I didn't know my daddy was going to die this day. And I ended up calling home because I always call my mom, make sure she got the computer logged up. Remember, like, it's 6:30, mama, don't forget to log on. She's like, I got it. And then she was like, but I want to tell you something. And I'm like, what? She was like, daddy not doing good. She said the nurses was here. His kidneys is failing. His body, his organs are failing. So I don't know how much more time he got here with us. So I'm like, all right. So I'm already feeling a way about that because I'm not really knowing what to expect. So my homegirl, this my prison sister, you know how you build them relationships with your girls, and those are some of my closest friendships. Yep, and this one that I'm still close with. And I came outside and she seen I was upset, and she's like, what's wrong? And I was crying. I'm like, my mama said my daddy, and she was like walking me down to where the email was at, where the little videos was at. So when she walked me down there, it's a back room where they got the computers for the video visit, and in the other room, it's for the regular email. So I don't know, this particular day, it was only one girl in there. You can get a shot if you go back in there, but my girl's like, I don't care, I'm going in there with you.
Yeah.
So she ended up going there with me, and the way it was set up is like in a library. You know how you got the little study thing?
Petition,
and that's how they all was, like a little cubicle. So I'm sitting there, and I went to the end, so she's standing on the side where she can still see, but can't nobody see her.
Yeah.
So she on the side, and when I log on there, I'm like, what's up? And it's like everybody at my mom's house. And this one, my mom, they was living in Georgia. But like my nephew was going to school down here at the time, so his daddy was here. Like everybody we grew up with who was people that was significant in our life growing up in my mom and house, because everybody used to always be at my mom and daddy house, was at my mama house. So I'm like, damn, so I'm like on there like, hey, everybody, I'm speaking, and everybody. And I'm like, where my daddy at? And she went over there and she took the computer. They took it over there to him laying in the bed. Now, mind you, I seen him like 3 days ago. And he wasn't talking because he started losing his ability to speak and things like that. But he was just sitting up in the hospital bed because they had hospice at the house.
Yeah.
So he died, at home. So when I was on there, he'd just be sitting up and I'm talking to him. My mind you, I seen him like 2 or 3 days ago. And when she turned the camera on, I was like, what the fuck? Like my daddy looked at, like he was like laying in the bed. He just looked so emaciated and just so frail, and like his mouth was halfway open, his eyes was like halfway open. I'm like, I like lost my whole, like, it's just hard to explain the feeling I had because it's like I heard myself wailing and I couldn't stop, but I can hear it. You know, and it's like, it's like I had damn near out of body experience. Like, so my girl, she crying too, like trying to comfort me, because she like, what the hell? Because she know my family from coming on visits. You know, you build a bond with these people, you know. And she like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? So I'm screaming. And so I'm like, I'm trying to, you know, gather myself together, because, you know, my son was there too. And then we was like, okay. So then we talking, and they showing us old pictures. You know, they trying to get stuff ready for the, you know, obituary. So we showing pictures, we laughing. And then next thing you know, they're like, the whole room just like, ah. I'm like, what? Like, he had stopped breathing. So, and then they seen him breathe again. So it's like, ah. Like that whole just intense in that moment. So girl, after that, like when he did that, I was like, just go take the computer over there. And I was talking to him, and I was just like, Daddy, I love you. And you know, I kind of felt or carried this burden about my case, my daddy getting in trouble, because I come from a situation from a dude I brought around and I was dealing with, that was able to bring my daddy into some stuff, you know. And I carry that guilt, and I carry that blame, because I feel like I brought somebody around my family and they destroyed it, you know. So at that moment, I just wanted to tell him, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I was just like, I'm sorry, Daddy. I'm sorry this happened to us. And I don't know what I was saying, but girl, as I'm talking to him, tears start coming down his eyes. Like tears. Like, mind you, this man ain't spoke or nothing. But that man, when I'm telling him, like, I'm sorry, I love you, I'm sorry, and like, and I'm doing that, and it's like tears just start coming down his eyes. And girl, after that, he took his last breath right there when I was on that damn computer.
And this episode was brought to you by the Heirs Agency, a full-service marketing firm noted in entertainment and culture. So that was really a hard time, but you made it through, though.
Yeah, it was. It was, but you know what? At the same time, I'm grateful. I'm not. It was something hard to go through, but I feel like even though I wasn't there physically, I was still there in that moment with my family. Spiritually. Yeah. And I visually was able to see it. It wasn't nothing I had to go back to my cell and cry in my mind like, I wonder what my dad last times was, or what it was like before he passed. Cause I was actually right there watching him take his last breath, you know?
Yeah. And so I know, like, you know, in prison we have a family. So I know your family like wrapped around you, rallied around you, helped you through. And like, what did y'all cook? Cause
Girl, so when it first happened, I was in RDAP when my daddy passed away. So they had let me get a little day break from class or whatever. And then, you know, my prison mama, was she gone when my daddy? I think my prison mama was gone. But my girls they cooked for me. You know, they bring you food. And they did little stuff, but they did come for me. And I ain't gonna lie, I was in RDAP in the drug program at the time, and they really was supportive. That's good. My drug treatment counselor and them was supportive too.
What was that? What was your family like in prison? Like,
girl,
not in the drug program, but like, what was your family like?
Girl, first of all, we had my mom. That was our prison mama. She was from Baltimore, girl. She was like the matriarch of all of us. But mama had 10 kids at home. Okay. So she had 30-year sentence. 3 of her sons. She had 30 years, and 3 of her sons was sentenced to life in prison. The youngest one was 18 when he got life. And at first, they was just charging my mom with money laundering. But they wanted her to get on the stand and testify against her sons. And mama was like, y'all got me twisted. Like, ain't nobody about to get on no stand and say nothing about my kids. Like, if y'all feel that way, I guess I'll be going to trial with them. Yeah. And they end up going to trial, and they gave her 30 years, and they gave her 3 sons life. And by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying, her sons was able to get their sentence reduced to 25 years, and she was able to go home after 17. But she was the one that, like, I knew you could cook in a microwave, but I ain't know you can cook stuff like that.
What? Like, what did she used to make in the microwave?
She used to make macaroni and cheese that tasted like real macaroni and cheese. She used to bake cakes, chocolate cakes. She used to
Oreos.
Make cheesecakes with the pudding and the graham cracker.
The cheesecake,
the cream cheese. The fried rice.
Baby, I can still fry
salmon
rice.
Patties, chicken patties, like whatever we kind of. I used to make the Alfredo. I used to make real good.
So I was Alfredo queen.
I was Alfredo queen, girl. I used to hit that creamer
with
that mozzarella cheese, all that cheese, get the little square, the cream cheese. Yeah, I used to be the Alfredo queen. But it's like pizzas, girl. Did y'all used to eat potato logs?
You know,
Girl,
what?
did you?
I keep saying that. I keep saying
You never had a
this,
potato log?
Yeah.
I was about to say, I eat the potato
No, I
log,
keep
too.
saying like I'm gonna have a prison night.
We should do that.
I keep saying I'm gonna have a prison night, and it's just gonna be things that we ate in
prison.
Because really, Brandy, all jokes aside, the potato balls, not the logs, but you know how you can make them in a circle individually. That really could be sold.
No, for real.
At Phipps, I mean not Phipps, at State Farm Arena.
No, for real.
Yeah, at
the potato balls, yes.
People really.
What about the chicken balls?
Yep.
The chicken balls, and they used to have them roll them around in Doritos so it can have a little crunchy stuff with the cheese in it.
How about this girl got mad at me the other day on TikTok because she put up like she done made this grand old scheme, and I was like, oh, you must have did prison. You been to prison.
What was it?
A chicken cheese ball and Cheetos.
I seen her on Instagram.
Yeah, you acting like
in the
you made
flaming hot Cheetos.
Yeah, you acting like you made this big thing. No, girl, you had to do prison time. That is a prison recipe.
It is. Because we used to just roll ours in Doritos. But it was the same thing.
Yep.
I seen her, and she just rolled them in flaming hot Cheetos
Yep.
with the cheese
With
in the
the
middle
cheese
with
and
the
stuff.
chicken.
And she doing it like this.
Girl, we been eating that in prison.
But you know what? You know I can make dressing out of tortilla chips.
Nah, I ain't never had the dressing, girl.
Yep.
Wait, hold on.
On Thanksgiving, you know, they feed you 11 o'clock in the morning.
We be
right?
hungry at the
and we
end.
still be hungry. So, yeah, we get their stuff out of there, but, you know, come
We be
back,
stealing.
re-rock it, get people to steal stuff out the kitchen.
We really, look, people don't understand this.
We had to
used
survive, y'all.
Listen. When it used to be Christmas or holiday meals, you know how you go down there with your plastic, but you gonna wrap your chicken in and wrap your turkey. And you gonna take it back upstairs and remix
And
it.
re-rock it.
Girl.
Yeah. But yeah, I used to get them to get the seasoning that I needed out the kitchen,
Yep.
the sage and stuff like that. But all you do is take the chips and crunch them all the way back down and add the sage, your seasoning, your garlic,
You put
some
water?
celery, some onions. Yeah. And then you put it in a bowl, pat it out, and you put it in
Oh, see, I ain't never had that one.
Oh yeah,
that's
girl,
a new one for me.
I can make dressing. I used to make egg rolls in the microwave. Anything, anything.
One of my best friend in prison, Z, she Dominican, and she used to make these damn chicken, some type of folded little wrap thing, but she used to make the cheese dip with the stuff to dip. I said, girl, we used to have Mexican. Like I felt like I was at a Mexican restaurant.
No, where was we at the other night? We went out to eat, and they had like the square bread, like fried. I was like, that ain't nothing but fried tortillas. Y'all just put the seasoning
because
on
we used to cut them up and put them in the thing.
We're gonna do a prison game night.
No,
or
we
something.
should.
Yeah,
we
we're
should,
gonna do a
because
prison
it'll be
game night or
fun.
something. I think
fun.
it would be like for people to see, like we really did survive. You know, we could laugh about it now, but you know, going in there, I know for me, that initial first day being in there,
I felt weird.
I felt like a fish out of water
in the fish
bowl. Where have I landed?
And was you at the bus stop when you first got there? Did y'all have a bus stop?
Yeah,
Yep, you be at the bus stop.
No, it's the initial just walking in.
You talking about R&D?
Yes.
Yeah.
Going through medical.
When they gotta give you the bag with your stuff in it, with the little laundry bag, you walking up the damn hill like this with the little
and
thing.
everybody asks you, "Oh, where you came from?
Where you from?" You be like, ugh.
Leave me alone. That's where I'm from.
Yep. It's just like people don't understand. And you know what's crazy for me? Okay, now we can have this conversation. Mm-hmm. I did an interview when Cam Newton, I was on his podcast, and I had told him, and I got so much backlash for them. I told him that I feel that prison time is harder on women than it is on men. And I gave my reason behind it. Mm-hmm. And to this day, one of my homeboys called me like, hey, I seen some shit on World Star. These niggas calling me on World Star, talking about you on there, talking about prison time more harder for women. You got to look at it this way. I said, let me tell you something. Ain't nothing you or no nigga gonna tell me, no man gonna tell me how prison affected me and what my opinion is of my reality. Yeah. I held my baby daddy down. My daddy went to prison. I seen my mama hold my daddy down early 90s when he did his first prison bid. Mm-hmm. And I had to break it down. I said, the reason why I said it's harder is because, for one, women are more emotional creatures.
We are mothers.
A father, when you leave, your kids is with their mother, mm-hmm. or your mother. 9 times out of 10, they're with a woman.
Right.
So when you a woman and you leaving your kids behind, you already feel empty inside because you are the protector of your children. Mm-hmm. You know, so even if you leaving them with family, some women don't know where their kids are. Right. Their kids are.
That was so sad.
And I said that. I said I knew girls whose kids got taken away from the state, or they was with their husband, they divorced them, don't bring the kids up there. I said, let's just be real. I've been to men's prisons. When I used to have to go see my son's father, the line was down the street.
The visitor
You better
rooms
get
be
your
filled
ass
at
up
a
there
busy
early. They
prison.
out there standing outside an hour or two before the doors is open. Them ladies sitting out there with them
But
kids.
in our prison, you only see women.
Grandmas, grandfathers,
moms,
brothers or sisters. You're going to see aunties and all of them. So I said, this is the reason why I say it's easier. If a man go on a visit, he can get kisses, hugs, affection, rubbed on. We not getting no affection from no man coming on visits because you really rarely see a man holding his woman down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You don't see a whole bunch of men waiting in line to come see their girlfriends or their wives in prison.
Right.
It's just a fact.
Yeah, that is a fact.
You know?
They can't get mad at that.
No, they get
but I
mad.
think they probably was looking at it as you were saying, the time itself of being inside a prison is harder. You know, I feel like the thing that we don't have to worry about. We don't have to worry about being raped in prison
Or stabbed.
Yeah.
Or gang wars.
Yeah.
And all of that. But my thing is, a lot of these dudes come from the trenches anyway. That's what y'all used to. Not trying to be funny. Y'all in there doing 25 to life, nigga. Y'all from the trenches. Mm-hmm. So to me, when dudes try to say that, I'm like, nigga, you the same nigga that was out here shooting people, and you gonna try to tell me just because you went to prison, you scared? Nigga, stop. Y'all just trying to use that as a situation to devalue what I'm saying as a woman and what my experience was in prison. Y'all niggas is men. Men are made to be warriors. Men are meant to be protectors. Women wasn't built and created by God to be that.
But it seemed like we have taken on that role.
We took on that role. So
Yeah.
that's why I got so offended. Dudes in the comments, like that one thing that I did with Kim, that one little snippet of that one part of my interview got like over 1 million and some views.
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
I didn't even pay attention to the
Go
numbers.
on my page.
I
It's
know I
like
liked
1 million
it,
and
but
something views. Them and read through the comments, girl. You should see some of the stuff that people were saying to me, and I don't respond to a lot of stuff, but
That's what I was
sometimes
about
I
to
do.
ask you. Do you
I do
get into
sometimes,
it? Yeah.
because I feel like he like, yeah, y'all women go in there and do the crime, then y'all feel sorry because y'all don't got nobody to be. I said, hold on, sir. I said, you act like women just wake up in the morning like, yeah, I'm about to do something to go to jail. Life is life. It happens, and people make bad decisions and poor choices. But at the end of the day, it's about how you bounce back. You know, we all made mistakes. Nigga, don't act like you ain't never did nothing before. You just ain't got caught.
Yeah.
So people be killing me trying to act like they a saint. Yeah, how many of y'all drove home drunk? Y'all could have been charged with vehicular manslaughter if you hit somebody and killed
That's
somebody.
right.
You just didn't get caught that day, or something bad just didn't happen. And that's why I hate this perception that people have of us or people that been to prison like we just bad people. No, but that F on our chest, that's what come with it though.
Yeah, that felon.
That felon.
Yeah.
It's like you look at us like we bad, but we ain't did nothing different than half of y'all done did.
Yeah, we just got caught.
Rich people, y'all tax invade, y'all write off y'all don't have to. Y'all go under the, you know what I'm saying? Y'all do stuff under the table.
Create
y'all
contracts for y'all
helping
people.
y'all people.
Yeah.
Y'all just ain't got caught. So I'm no different from you guys.
Yeah.
So y'all not gonna sit here and discredit me or make me seem like I'm a hoodlum or some type of bad person because I made a bad decision.
Right. Right.
You know, but them people try to talk about me so bad. Like, damn.
What did Cam say when you did the interview? Like, what did he say when you said that part?
He said, you know what? I never looked at it from that perspective. You just told me something for me to look at from a different angle, and damn, I ain't never even look at it like that. But he kind of agreed, like, damn, you right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's true. And like I said, men are built to be warriors and protective. We are not. God created us to be the
helpmate
to our man. Why he is the provider, why he's the protector. We supposed to be here nurturing and taking care of him and the family.
Yeah.
So how y'all gonna sit here and tell me that prison ain't harder on women? They treat us the same way they do to men.
They sure do, girl. They sure do. And then too, that separation with our children.
That's what I'm saying, that abandonment.
Mm-hmm.
And we just emotional creatures, period. Men are not as emotional as us.
Do you feel like you put up like a wall? Like, do you feel like you have tougher skin now? Like, or not so much tougher skin, but do you feel like, like that you have to be tough?
I feel like that's how I was. Nah, don't get me prior to my conviction, I was that tough girl, always want to be tough, you know, don't give a fuck. That was me. Brandy ain't give a fuck. Brandy gonna say what she want to say. That's what type of person I was.
So do you feel like, you know, to a certain extent that you have that, like you have to be hard, have this hard exterior since you've been home?
Since I've been home, no. Because prior, I was, everybody you know, Brandy don't give a f***. Brandy gonna say what she want to say. I'm gonna stand on what I said, and I don't care I had that I don't give a care attitude. But it's like now, I don't know, I'm like sensitive. I'll be watching something on Instagram or watch something on TV and start crying. Like, why am I crying? But I'll be like, oh, that's so cute, or oh my God. Or like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like I'll bust out crying for no reason.
Girl, and that just happened to me this past Monday. I was going to Virginia to speak in the prison, and I go for 3 days, and I missed my flight. Not that I was late. I was in the Sky Club on my computer and missed my flight. Distracted.
Oh my goodness.
And I started crying. I mean, like tears.
Because you felt bad.
Yeah, because I felt like I let them down. I disappointed. Like, Brandy, you know how it is.
Yeah.
When you in prison, whether it's family member or speakers from the outside, if you know they coming, you look forward to that. And all I could see was them sitting there like, you know, looking in the dorm, looking at the clock like, well, where's she at? She supposed to be here, you know? And I just started crying. And my sis KC had FaceTime. She like, because it's her contract. Like, she subcontracts me to go in. And I was like, I missed my flight. And she like, hold on. We don't do that.
Right,
we
she
don't
like,
do
stop
that.
crying.
Yeah, she like, what are you crying? Because she ain't even used to me crying, number one.
You felt bad.
Yeah, but I felt bad because,
them your sisters, like, at the end of the day, it's like.
And brothers.
And you do the men too. Also,
women.
So you know what it's like, because I know when we used to have certain people come in, you look forward to that. It's refreshing. You get to talk and engage with people from the outside. So I would probably be crying too, like, I let them down.
Yeah,
I know.
and you know what? I always try to. I make sure, like, especially when I'm going to see the girl, like when the day of the girl, like, I always make sure I got on like good. I wear
so you
perfume
can smell
anyway.
it. No, you gonna spray a little extra.
Spray a little extra. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So when I hug the girls,
They
I
can
don't
have
hug
it
the
on their
men. I just
clothes.
do an
Yeah.
arm bump with them. But you know, and they always be like, "Oh, you smell good," because I know what it feels like.
Yep.
I'm the only sense of freedom that they're seeing.
Yep.
They don't get that from the guards. You get what I'm saying? So I definitely feel like I have become more emotional too.
Yeah. But it's a good thing though, and I think it just shows that we evolving and we maturing as women.
Yeah.
And I like my little emotional side. Another thing I think that helped with me now, I don't know, like, people say, like, when you go to prison, I kind of took the opportunity to work on me as being a better woman. I made a promise to myself, like, when I came in here, I'm not gonna walk out the same person that walked in. So I'm gonna work on myself eternally. It was some things, you know, I'm not gonna say I was the best person. I'm not gonna say that I was the best of a friend at times. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just be real with you. And it's like, when I got to my lowest and I was in that county jail and I looked in the mirror, I didn't like the person that I seen. So I knew it was up to me to be able to, it was up to me to see where my future was going to go.
And that took some soul searching.
And it took some soul searching.
Honesty with
it
you.
It did, because I used to always, and I'm getting better with it now, but I used to always be the person that if somebody say something to me that I don't like, but you know it's true, I put my defense mechanism on, like, what? Da-da-da-da, you know, trying to be, but the whole time, you know what they saying is true.
Yeah.
And I had to start being receptive when people was telling me stuff and stop getting offended by it, because at the end of the day, if you somebody I know you care about me, you're not going to tell me nothing that's
wrong.
bad or wrong.
Or to hurt
it's
you.
going to be for the betterment of me. So now I'm able to be receptive to advice or things that people point out about me or things that I need to work on without getting defensive, because it's like, that's the only way you're going to become better.
That's the only way you grow.
You know, and you're going to grow. So it's like, now I'm working on my communication. You know, I was not a good communicator. In my family, I had a good life, but I'm just going to be real with you. We had a bad communication. You know, we'll fuss and fight, and then
Nobody
we act
don't
like
want to say sorry. We just act like it never happened
the next day.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
It's toxic.
It's not good. It's toxic. It causes people in the family to hold on to resentment. You know, and it could be that happened when you was a kid that somebody in your family holding on to, and as an adult, you feel a way about that shit all the way from 20 years ago, and you don't know because you never talked about it.
Never addressed it.
You know what I'm saying? If we would have talked about it, maybe we could have came up with a resolution. If you felt I hurt you, I will apologize, and we can close that chapter and keep it to moving. You know, so I try to be big on communication, especially with my son. You know, like, he is a kid, and I had to take heed of that. Like, I had to pay attention to that, because my son is not a confrontational person. I'm a yeller. I'm a fighter. I'm that's just how I am. And growing up, to get the point across, it was to yell.
Yeah, I'm still a yeller.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to break free from.
That's what I'm
Yelling.
working on too. But my son shuts down. You yell at him, he Like, he don't like that at all.
Yeah.
And my mama used to get on me about that when my mama was alive. Like, if I yell at him about some shit, he'll call and tell on me to my mama. My mama would call me like, what the hell you doing to my baby over there? I'd be like, what? I don't know what the hell y'all got going over there, girl. She'd pack her come over my house for 2 or 3 days like she watching me. Like I did something to him. So I'm like, you making me like he got in trouble at school, so why you watching me like I did something to him? So that's something I had to really work on, is my delivery and how I talk to people, and I had to work on my communication. But this is the flip side. Some people might not have that growth that you had.
Yeah.
So I could be communicating with you and say something, and you got a little attitude or you feel away, and really I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, so you kind of gotta worry about that a little bit too. But I'm just really, really big on communication. I don't want any drama in my life. I'm trying to stay away from the stress. You know, I just want to be around people who I know love me, that we all room for each other, and in some kind of way, if we could uplift each other, we gonna uplift each other, and we gonna bring each other up with us, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're doing a great job, though.
I'm trying, girl. I'm a work in progress.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. All you've been through, like, really, all jokes aside, you really are a walking testimony. You get what I'm saying? And your son, I just love the way that you're pouring into him. You know what I mean? It's like, you basically like put your life aside. Like, I didn't live my life. I didn't did this. I owe this to him.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I said I was gonna do that. I said it to myself before I came home. You know, everybody used to be like, "Oh, your son good at football." He's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Like I really didn't know.
Yeah.
And then when I came on and seen it, I'm like, "Oh,
he real
we
good.
got some going on." So
Yeah.
it's like, and I promised myself, like me running the streets and me doing all that and me being separated from him. If anybody deserved my time more than anybody, it's him.
That's right.
And my whole everything revolved around him.
Now, you know this is Break Phree Podcast, and you cannot leave without telling me something you need to break free from.
Honestly?
Yeah.
I have a poor choice in men.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not even gonna lie. I got a poor choice in men. So I think that I need to break free from toxic. And I ain't saying it in a bad way, because it don't have to be like nothing like in really bad. But okay, let me just use this example. You know where we come from and some of the things that we used to doing, and it's a part of who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And that it still be in me a little bit sometimes.
But you know what you got to do?
You know what I'm saying? It be in there.
You got to give it a chance. You got to give it a chance. I had the same problem. You know what I mean? We just want to date street dudes. But I'm telling you, watch. It'll be one that has enough in them, but that's not in the streets at all. But it's not corny, because that'd be our problem.
Yeah, it's the corniness.
We
don't want a corny dude.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, where I'm gonna meet one?
You'll find one, or he'll find you.
Well, find me, please. Hey, call me. So if you too legit to quit, call me.
I enjoyed you today, girl. This has been one for the books.
I enjoyed myself with you.
Thank you for coming. They'll hear from us soon.
Oh, they gonna hear from us soon again. Yes, our game night for sure.
Well, y'all, there you have it. You see, we had a good time. I hope that you had a good time too. And remember, it's always delusion until they see it happen. I'll see y'all next week.